All right, welcome back to the second part of our second series at the brand new To The Point podcast. I'm Andy Addis, and I'm here with my wonderful, longtime life partner, best friend, wife for life. I was trying to get you some props. I had some things I wanted to say.
Okay.
Miss Kathy Addis.
Hello.
So glad to have you here.
Thank
Last week, we started a journey of going through Colossians chapter 3, using one chapter. We're doing this whole series we're calling Family by the Book. And we're using Colossians chapter 3. We did 1 through 4 last week, and we talked about getting the right mindset for your home. Now, we move on as Paul continues to talk to the church at Colossae, and he starts using some pretty strong language in verses 5 through 11. And I'm calling this particular episode Evicting the Wrong Residents. Now, last time we talked about putting your mind and your eyes and your heart, your intentions on the right things. Now we're talking about eliminating some of those wrong things. And some of us are better at one than we are the other, but we have to get both of these down.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the wrong people living in your house.
True.
Say, we have a garage that had a room above the garage, and we almost always had somebody living with us, and I was a little too trusting sometimes. We never had a bad issue, never did. But there was a time I said, "Hey, you tell the story because I get in trouble if I tell it wrong."
So he calls me. You call me at like 3:00 on a Friday or something like that.
It's your story, I believe it.
And so, you were like, "Hey, this guy's going to move into the garage." I'm like, "Who is it?" You go, "Well, I don't really know his last name, but I can't even remember his first name now." And he goes, "But he's a friend of so-and-so and so-and-so, and he's in the police department program."
Which told me he was okay.
And yeah, completely trusting that he's not a serial killer, which he
was a great guy.
He was.
But it was a little weird for me to say, "Sure, live with us."
Yeah, it was weird to get the phone call. Yeah, because our boys were little and you were gone a lot, and it did happen you were gone and we had tornadoes.
Yeah.
Actually, they were microbursts in town, and I went out there and I don't know if I should even tell this story, but
yeah, do it.
Okay,
you're already down the road.
So the weather's getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm like, "Lord, it's just me and my 2 little boys here. What do I do? And all I could think of was, I cannot let this man die in my garage. I can't do it. So I went out, and our garage has this long stairway up to that lofty room thing. And I just yelled at the bottom of the stairs, "Hey, if you want to go in the basement, you're welcome to." He's like, No, I'm good. I'm like, "Okay, don't die out here." And he's like, "Well, I don't plan to." I'm like, "No, I'm serious. I really don't want you to die out here. So if you want to come in, you can." But and he actually didn't, and it was fine. But I do remember thinking, "Oh, this is awkward. This is so awkward."
Because it wasn't somebody you were comfortable with in the house.
Turns out, super nice guy. Yeah. Everything was just fine. But yeah.
But that's what we're talking about. If you don't have the right people in the house, it can cause some anxiety, a little bit of stress.
Yes.
And Paul is telling us that there are some people that we got to evict from the house. So if you set your mind right, look at the right things, there are also some things that we got to get out of the house. So let's read from Colossians chapter 3, verses 5 through 11. I read first last time, so I'll have you read first this time. I want to make sure everybody remembers that this is an incredible passage about the worth of Christ and our salvation. This is not a passage on how to run your family, but it's such a great concept. You can find principles about your family in it. So this isn't, the bigger issue is your salvation and what God is doing in your life and your sanctification. But in that, we're using it to talk about our families. Family by the book. So read verses 5 through 11 for us.
Okay. "So put to death the sinful earthly things lurking within you. Have nothing to do with sexual immorality, impurity, lust, and evil desires. Don't be greedy, for a greedy person is an idolater, worshiping the things of this world. Because of these sins, the anger of God is coming. You used to do these things when your life was still part of the world, but now is the time to get rid of anger, rage, malicious behavior, slander, and dirty language. Don't lie to each other, for you have stripped off your old sinful nature and all its wicked deeds. Put on your new nature and be renewed as you learn to know your Creator and become like Him. In this life, it doesn't matter if you are a Jew or a Gentile, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbaric, uncivilized, slave or free. Christ is all that matters, and He lives in all of us.
Such a good passage, but it's very convicting as well.
Yeah.
So if it was good once, it'll be better twice. Let me read it in the ESV, Colossians 3, starting in verse 5. Put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you, sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, covetousness, which is idolatry. On account of these, the wrath of God is coming. In these you too once walked when you were living in them, but now you must put them all away, anger, wrath, malice, slander, and obscene talk from your mouth. Do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old self with its practices, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in the knowledge after the image of its Creator. Here there is not Greek or Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave free, but Christ is all and in all. So we have one of these famous Pauline passages, the Apostle Paul wrote, Pauline passage, to the church at Colossae, and it has lists in it.
I love lists.
I know. For those of us who are kind of rule-oriented, we love lists. Let us check off the list. Whether it be good or bad, we want to know what the list is.
I just need to know what to do.
And so if we've titled this lesson, Evicting the Wrong Residents, what are we doing? We're looking for things that match these descriptions that we don't want in our house. If we're talking about having a family by the book, then these are some things that we're going to need to take care of.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to talk about set your mind on godly things. It has some consternation when you start saying, hey, we need to remove some of this stuff. They always say this as a leader, never give everything out all at once because it's hard to take it back, but you can always give a little bit more.
That makes sense.
It's good rule in parenting as well. Don't give them everything.
True.
Because you can't take it back very easily.
Well, I would say you can.
Right. So what's the spark for this? It's those house guests that we're talking about that make things uncomfortable. You and I, we came back from the hospital visit a week or so ago, and the fridge had died. Lost all the food. It was, it was one of those when it rains it pours moments. And our fridge is in this little covey, and I pushed it out. It took forever to wedge it out. It's one of those things I was hoping this fridge would sell with the house after both of our funerals. Well, I got back in there. I got back in there, and the most disturbing thing I found was a dead mouse carcass.
Ugh.
Which is amazing because you are the mouse police. We have an old home, but they don't come around there no more because it had to get behind 1 ton of steel in a inner wall cubby to even find its way. But it is an unwanted guest, and even though it was dead and out of sight, your command to me was get rid of it.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
I'll have nothing to do with that.
These are the things we need to get rid of. Matter of fact, it doesn't just say get rid of, it says put to death. That's serious. That's not put at arm's length. That's not put in timeout. The word for death is actually the word nekrosate, which means completely halt. That's why it's death. Can't do anything. Dead people don't do anything, right?
Wow.
And so it says to completely stop what is in your earthly nature, what is earthly in you. And then this list. We're not going to go over everything, but sexual immorality. I don't need to describe it. I'm going to pronounce it in Greek. Porneia, right? Anything pornographic. Impurity, which is a lesser version of that kind of soft porneia. Passions, which yours said lust, I believe. Evil desires. And probably, because it's on this line of sexuality, it's probably evil sexual desires. That's even thoughts, right? Jesus said that you don't have to commit adultery to commit adultery.
You have to think about it.
If you think it, he says, you've already committed. That's a mental sin.
Heart.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have a list. I have a note on that list that says it's all a progression of the idol of sex, from the act all the way to the very first thought.
That's where I was going.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm glad you're there. Because all of that points to, and covetousness, which is idolatry.
Greed.
And if there has ever been a generation in which we could say that they say sex sells and sex gets ratings, well, sex is the idol of the culture. In all these various forms, it is a form of idolatry. And what does it say? Avoid it.
Yeah.
What does it say? You might think about limiting it. What does it say?
Get rid of it.
Kill it.
Kill it. Yeah.
Kill it.
Kill it. Put it to death.
You say, I don't know. That's so hard. When I was in high school, I remember there was a Supreme Court decision on what is obscene. And one of the judges of the Supreme Court, I can't remember their name, they said, I can't define it, but I know it when I see it. Well, I got help for you. If you're watching TV now, very often in the first few seconds, they put a little box up in the corner that gives you a description of the content. Some of these words are on that content.
Yeah. Literally.
You don't have to wonder. They said, no, that's in here. Yeah. Strong this, more of that, partial this. It's like written there on the screen. You don't need to wonder.
Maybe it won't be as bad.
Yeah, you don't need... we sound super judgy. Maybe that is. But we're not judging you. We're judging the fruit.
Yeah.
Right? And we are not to be somebody else's judge, but we are to be their fruit inspector.
You said something that you said if this generation, and I think we need to remember that we're not pointing at Gen Z or millennial or boomers or whatever, but the generation. The biblical generation is everyone alive right now. Mm-hmm. Like you and I are just as much at fault
this
or
is
as
an inclusive
vulnerable.
Our generation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're not pointing fingers at anyone else.
And you may say, so is it really that big a deal? Look at verse 6. On account of these, the wrath of God is coming.
That's just straight up. Like, it is what it is.
Now, you never did. You were never one of those moms who said, wait till your dad gets home.
No,
you just took care of things.
Yeah.
But I was a dad who said, oh, you wait till your mother finds out about this. I did that several times. They're like, no.
Aw.
On account of these, that list we just gave, let me do it again. Pornea, sexual immorality, impurity, like soft porn, passions, which is lust, evil desires, even in the mind, they're all covetousness, which is wanting something that doesn't belong to you. Does that make sense?
Worshiping the things of this world.
It becomes idolatry. On account of these, the wrath of God is coming. Now, it's any form of idolatry. He's not just picking out this, but this was the sin du jour that he was speaking of, and I think it speaks to us as well. In these, you too once walked when you were living in them. This is not new to us. Yeah. And the problem is that this is actually what Christ died to deliver us from, and we go back to it. Does that remind you of an old proverb?
Something about a dog and his vomit.
Yeah, what did it say? As a dog returns to its vomit.
Yeah.
So gross.
Yeah,
so
truly.
Gross.
Yeah.
But it does remind me of an old Guardian song. Do you remember Guardian? Oh, you and I. You and I, we've been through some hard times.
I'm not going to sing to you.
You're welcome. We actually played that at our wedding. I played guitar. Grabbed a guitar. Yes, we did.
Yep.
But Guardian sang a song later after we were married called, do you remember?
Is it dragging the
old man's dragging the lake again. That's it.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it's this rock song. It says the old man's dragging the lake again. You have to listen to it a couple times to get. They're talking about the old man died and he's buried in the baptistry waters, but he's dragging the lake again, looking for that old man. And how stupid that is, looking for that old man. And it says that you used to walk in those ways when you lived in them. Listen. If you got stuff that Jesus has delivered you from, why train your children how to live in it? If you got stuff that Jesus has delivered you from, why re-enter that into your marriage?
Yeah.
Why bring that into the home? Now, nobody's going to be perfect. And I'm not telling you to be, an episode of Leave It to Beaver. I understand that.
Yeah.
But come on. We have to have some standards. We have to have some godly standards that are leading us in a positive way. So, am I fair so far?
Yeah.
Because now we get another list.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier.
But now you must put them all away. Now, he's going to give us another list, but then put them all away is actually language that's like take off a jacket.
Yeah.
Take off a coat.
It's a garment metaphor,
yes.
Right?
It's like when you come into a warm house on a winter day, before you heat all up, you take it off. These are things that you take it all off, baby. That's what it is. Now... Why does that strike you? It's funny. But now you must put them all away. And here's the list: anger, wrath, malice, slander, obscene talk from your mouth. And again, it's a long list. We don't have time to get through everything. But anger is a chronic, you like this one, a smoldering what?
Hatred.
Smoldering hatred. You don't like it. It's one that you teach because you're getting ready to teach.
Actually, when this comes out, I will have already.
Oh, you will have already taught. That's
have
right.
already taught. Yeah.
So tell us, when you say anger as a smoldering hatred, what is that?
It's that underlying. When you think of somebody and you just get that.
You grit your teeth, but you still smile at them.
Yeah.
And you just wish something bad would happen.
Well, that kind of falls under the malice, but
yes.
But it's that, and here's something that I talked about this, but when I started praying this list, this is something that God has convicted me of.
Because you put on the armor every morning, but you've started also taking off.
I did, yeah, and because God said, I don't know, I just felt really convicted to do that, and when I started praying this list, I'm like, God, I don't have these things. Like I have forgiven those people that did those big, horrible, awful things to me years ago.
In your halo?
Right, yeah.
It started shining real bright.
Well, or searing me in the head, one of the two. But God was like, just do what I told you to. So I'm like, okay. And I kept praying it. And the more I prayed it, the more he began to make clear to me that there are people in my life that I had this anger towards. A smoldering hatred. But
it's like a campfire that's out, but if you stepped in that campfire, you'd realize the embers are still hot.
Right. There's a burning underneath, but and here's what I think we as humans do. We soften the definition of these things because, I mean, to say that you're angry with somebody, you can just go, I'm just mad at them right now.
I'm just fed up.
I'm just, just irritated. I'm just done. Well, God is saying his definition of anger, to have that keep welling up inside you, that is hatred. And now we as good Christian people, we're not going to admit that we have hatred. But God's like, that's what I call it.
You know where I think most people can identify if they have a smoldering anger is when they're driving by themselves. I don't know why this happens. You have those conversations that you start winning arguments, and all of a sudden...
Yeah. That's exactly right. And
you didn't even know you were still mad.
Yes. And that's what God has done to me with this list. I'm like, I don't want smoldering hatred.
Now that's anger. The next word is wrath.
Wrath.
And it's
rage.
Outbursts of anger.
Yeah, mine says rage.
And so it's when you stir that anger up, the results that you get. Yes.
Explodes, yeah.
Now you have to take all these off. Smoldering hatred, which is anger. Wrath, which is outburst. Malice, which is doing things or even wanting things that are bad to happen to somebody.
Revengeful resentment.
Ooh, vengeful.
Revengeful.
Revengeful. I didn't think that was a word.
Revengeful. Revenge. Yeah, I think
vengeful.
I don't think so. I think it's. I haven't looked at my notes, but
here's a to the point challenge for all of you. Do a grammar check on us.
Resentment. And this is when you hold a grudge.
I had it today.
You had a grudge today?
I had a revengeful resentment today. There was a guy at the stoplight, and he was on his phone, and I took off, and he was still back there, and I thought, those stupid guys that are on their phones while they're driving. Well, then he apparently thought I was racing him, and he just blew past me. I mean, like 10 miles an hour over. And I caught myself praying, oh, pull him over. Please let there be a cop. Please let there be a cop. I wanted him to be punished. And when you want a politician to get punished and your kids hear you yelling at the TV, when you're spouting off anger at the opposing team, you see, we're bringing this back to family now.
Right.
We can have these private issues, but they often spill out.
Yeah, they're gonna show up.
Yeah. And so we have to take these off. Anger, wrath, rage, malice, slander. The word slander, we know that means to speak ill of somebody, but I think you'll find this really interesting. The word slander in Greek is pronounced blasphemion.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? Blasphemion. It literally means that you're committing blasphemy against somebody else. You're not supposed to take the Lord's name in vain. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
I can take Kathy's name in vain.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak ill of somebody that I know, and you have to remove that from your vocabulary.
Yeah. We can't be bad-mouthing people.
You say, is that it? Sorry, one more.
Nope.
And obscene talk from your mouth. I'm just going to sound prudish in this. I'm so tired of 4-letter words. You're just grown-up language. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just a word like any other word. It's not.
It's not.
The reason you use it is because it has some kick to it.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. When I hear somebody using that around their spouse or their kids, it breaks my heart because you may not even know it. You may just think it's words that you use. Mm-hmm. But here's the truth. God says, take that off.
Yeah.
Because that is the wrong resident living in your house.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's not the fix-all to everything, but I guarantee you this. When I first really fell in love with Jesus in 1989, I was a high school kid that could cuss the wallpaper off a wall. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the first thing that just fell off of me, it wasn't even a discipline. God just took that away from me. And I didn't know why in the moment, why that was what he chose to change. But people were like, what happened to you? They could see it. They could hear it. Something was different.
Yeah.
Because I kicked that guy out of my life.
Yeah. Good for you. That was something that it took a while. There were other things, thank the Lord, that he chose to take off of me just almost immediately. But, I think about our kids. Neither one of our kids are cussers. And I'm really grateful for that because I've learned that where yours stopped kind of immediately, mine, it's a hard thing to learn to stop. I mean, and because when you grow up in that or you feel like that's part of who you are, then when you change, when you're squeezed, what comes out is not always super godly, right?
That's right.
And the best way to learn to stop cussing is to never cuss in the first place. So if you don't want your kids to cuss, don't cuss in front of them.
And that filthy language is not just curse words.
Right.
It's shameful or abrasive speech. Mm-hmm. Like you and I, we've come up with kind of, I can't think of any of mine, but I have them too. But I love it when you get really frustrated with someone, you call them a diphthong, which is...
It's a grammatical term.
It's a part of speech. And I'm like, why are you calling them? Anyway.
It's funny to me. That is a...
I don't know why you do that, but you do that.
Yeah.
You do that. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the issue. If we really get legalistic about it, in a good way, I don't mean like Pharisaical. I mean, we don't mean good by that when we do that.
It's true.
And so even that, we got to be careful. As God sanctifies us and grows us, he's going to challenge us to live in a better way. And he says, get rid of just filthy language, whatever.
Doofus. That's one you use.
I use doofus a lot.
Yeah.
Which, if there's more than one, it's doofy.
There's another grammatic check for you. Grammatical.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's my rule on words. If you know what I meant, it's a word.
It's not. That doesn't. Okay,
it's a
so
word.
I'm going to say that for revengeful resentment. Then you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. So it's a word. Signed, sealed, delivered. Verse 9, do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old self with its practices. In other words, if you're a Christian and you're into sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, covetousness, idolatry, anger, wrath, malice, slander, obscene talk from your mouth, then you're lying to others because you have been redeemed.
Oh, I have never looked at it that way.
Yes. Do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old self with its practices. You're literally lying and saying, I don't belong to him. Look at the costume I'm wearing.
Wow, you have stripped off your old nature, sinful nature, and all its wicked deeds. I never thought of it.
And then the second half, and have put on. Now we're putting on something else.
Right.
The new self, which is being renewed in the knowledge after the image of its creator. See, in your home, you got to kick out some of these things because they're not godly. And if God is in your home, Don't lie to your kids. Don't lie to your spouse. Don't lie to your neighbors.
Yeah.
Be who God's called you to be. And in that, you're being renewed in the knowledge of the image of its creator. Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
So the scripture from Colossians 3, 5 through 11, matching the point of the fact that there are people in our, or the spark, that there are people and things in our house that we need to get rid of. Let's all bring it down now to what we like to call is, after the point of the passage, our 2 cents.
Our 2 cents.
What is our 2 cents about all this? Here's what I would like to say. We can't make room for grace until we clear out the clutter of sin. It's really hard to lead our families and display godly love and care and compassion when we got all the junk laying around.
Yeah.
When our house is so cluttered with the other stuff that we can't display the good stuff.
Yeah.
And so this is really taking inventory time. This is a moment which I want to challenge you to say, what are some things from this list? And there's even more. This is not exhaustive.
Sure.
There are just some things living in our house, in our schedule, in our finances, in our calendar. There are some things living there. They don't need to live there anymore. They've been squatting for too long, and they don't belong. And maybe make some changes. Again, it's going to ruffle some feathers, especially if you're the only one in the family who's listening to this and catching the vision. So it may be a longer conversation, but you got to start being intentional and take those steps now. You have any 2 cents on this?
I think right along with that, I think I would just encourage / challenge us to really pray about this list, and every day. And this is what I have found, that it's every day.
Every day. We
have to take off this stuff every day, and we won't take it off if we don't know we have it. So asking God to show us what it is, those specific things in our life we need to get rid of.
That's 100%. 100%. Good 2 cents there, dear.
Oh, thanks.
All right. This has been another episode of To the Point, and we're going to do it together in a second.
Thanks. Okay.
But we have been talking about evicting some of those bad elements out of the house. Last time we talked about looking and setting our attentions in the right place, and next time we come together, we're going to talk about dressing for success. How do we suit up in the things that we need to suit up in? Many blessings to you, and we look forward to seeing you again on another episode of To the Point.